Hi there, this is Pam Moore, aka Pam Marketing Nut, out on Twitter. That's PAMMKTGNUT. And I'm here today to give you a quick overview of the Twitter interface. And we're going to go as far as sending a tweet. So this is assuming you already have a Twitter profile. And now we're going to walk through the basic interface and how we would send a tweet. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am right now at the twitter.com site. So go ahead and go to twitter.com. I am going to click on my, up here on the right top corner where it says sign in. I'm going to click sign in. My username and password is already entered there, so I'm going to go ahead and click sign in because it remembers me because I log into Twitter every day. If not, go ahead and just type in your name and your password. And so this will take me directly now to my home page. You can see here the home page is highlighted. And this here shows my timeline. So what the timeline is, and I hear this from this question from a lot of people, and I love when I hear it, and I think it's a cute question. People always ask, Pam, what, when they first start following people, they'll say, I'm following 15 people, 20 people, why are they, look at all these people are sending me tweets. I'll tell you, this timeline, you can see mine is going pretty fast because I have a lot of followers and I'm following a lot of people. This timeline is actually anybody you are following. It is the tweets that they are sending. So the timeline is not people necessarily that are sending a tweet to you or that are talking to you directly. Your timeline is exactly that. It's a timeline and it is showing real time the tweets of the people that you are following. So if I wanted to engage in a conversation here, I easily could. I could reply to these people. I could, retweet their content, that type of thing. But we're not going to do that right now. The next thing you need to know about this interface is right up here we have, this is where it says what's happening. This is where you would enter your tweet. So this is where we could type our tweet, whatever we want to say. It needs to be 140 characters or less. I will come back to that in a second. Over here up on the top, we can search. So I could put in a search right now. I can search for, #Tampa using what we call a hashtag. And we have another couple videos on hashtags if you're wondering what that is. That is just a term we use to describe a word that we put a # in front of that enables us to have conversations with people around a specific topic. So it enables us to connect with people with like interests, and it works great for geographies, great in certain niche markets, that type of thing. So I typed in #Tampa, and this is giving me real-time tweets that are being said within the Tampa area, anybody who has included that #Tampa as part of their tweet. So if you are in a type of business that you are looking to connect with local people, it's a great way for you to immediately find some local Twitter tweets. And you can use some automated tools to do that as well, where you can follow people based on the type of content that they tweet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on home again. And I did that search by typing here. Let me go ahead and show you one more thing. So I went ahead again and I typed in #Tampa. So now I could, right here you'll see just tweets is selected as a default. I could click on tweets with links, and this is going to show me only tweets that have the #Tampa, that have links. Next tab is tweets near you. This is going to show me the ones that are near me. And that would be more specific and more relevant also if I was just doing more of a generic search versus a geography-based search. And then I can look for people. So this would be if they have Tampa included in their bio, in their profile of their Twitter account. So it's a great way to find folks and connect with people based on topics. So then I'm going to go ahead and click on home. And up here you'll see we can always come back to the home page. If you get confused, you can always come back to your home page. Here we have profile. So this is if I wanted to edit my profile. We're not going to do that for the sake of this video. Here I have messages if I wanted to check out my direct messages. And then this would be a suggestion of who to follow. And I'm not going to click on that now either. So your tweets, so up here, this is information, this top section right here, this little rectangle, is my tweets. It says I've sent a total of 14,935 tweets. Now that's a lot of tweets. It shows my last tweet was 27 minutes ago, and it shows I tweeted a link to my blog, a recent post that I did, 26 tips to build a social savvy website versus a dud with a pretty face. So with a link to that, and I'm using the bit.ly service so I can measure the clicks that I get on that. Any tweets that I send, I shorten the URL so it has a shorter URL so it doesn't take up as much space when I do the tweet. And so I can also have some data around how many people are clicking on that specific link. It will tell me how many people are clicking. And then it tells me that how many people I'm following, tells me that I have 48,000 followers, and then it will tells me my favorite tweets. So I could click on this and it's going to mark all of the tweets that I have marked as my favorites. So I used to use this more than I do now, but it's a good way when you meet new people, you can see what their favorite tweets are. I like to mark some of my favorite information. And then you'll see what lists I'm on. So here is the list that people have added me to. So there are 2,000, I missed the number, 2,291 lists that I am on. And I have another tutorial you can check out of really managing your lists. But there are basically lists that you create that you can put other tweeters on so you can keep track of your favorite content and people. And then there are lists that people put you on. And so lists are a great way for you to understand how people are seeing you in the world of Twitter. It'll tell you a lot about how they value your content and what your brand is to your audience, which is very, very important. And then it'll list right here the list that I was recently entered in. So it'll list these here so you can get a quick, just check and see if anything interests you. And then here are trends, and these are trends for all of Twitter. So right now we have songs these are set on worldwide, so I could change this if I wanted to a specific area. So there would be the trends. I could do the trends just in the U.S. if I wanted to. I could do, Atlanta as an example, and it's going to tell me what are all the trends for Atlanta. And so I could click on any of those, and it will automatically, I can just click on one of these for you. So we have songs for Japan coming from Atlanta, and now this is going to give me all the Atlanta tweets with the songs for Atlanta hashtag, or songs for Japan hashtag, I'm sorry. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. And then we have, they'll always just, this is a little definition they always put here, and you'll always have access to other information here. You can easily get to the help. I always like to show people this. You can go to your profile name up here, click on it so you can go to the pull down and you can go to the help, and this will take you to Twitter, support.twitter.com, which is a great resource for help. If you ever get stuck, you can always come to this Twitter basics section, and there is tons of information here. So Twitter 101 guide, and just about any question you have as a newbie. I remember when I was new, it's you're going to get about 90% of your questions answered here when you're first starting. So I highly encourage you to check that out. One thing I would point out here is to make sure you become familiar with the Twitter follow limits. So, and that was under the follow category. But make sure you get familiar with the follow limits so you do not get thrown in Twitter jail for sending too many tweets or too many messages per day. You want to keep those ratios in line and make sure you are following people based on quality, not just numbers, because Twitter is really designed to connect with like minds, and you want to be more focused on quality than you are on just the numbers. So let's see here. So now I'm going to go to, we looked at timeline. The next thing over here on this left side is mentions. So if I click on mentions, these are all people who are talking to me or have included my name in their tweet. And by my name, it is Pam Marketing Nut. So it's the @ and then Pam MKTGNUT. So that's what I'm talking about there. And so this, here's my good buddy George and my good buddy Kyle. Kyle dials into our Get Real chat very often on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. And so I am going to I want to show you a few of these. You'll see today is Friday, so there's lots of Friday follow tweets. And a Friday follow is just people tweet FF, or they'll tweet different acronyms, and they're basically, you know, telling their audience, follow these people. So my tweet stream looks a little different on Fridays than it usually does. There'll be different things that are, you know, different, all kinds of crazy tweets included on Friday. But if I wanted to retweet any of this content, and it will show you as you get new content, new tweets that are mentioning you. I don't know if you just saw that it pops up, you know, you have one new tweet. It'll tell you that you do. So let's see here. And this is somebody that, excuse me, tweeted one of my articles. So if I wanted to reply to her, she tweeted one of my articles. Looks like she liked it. She says, social relationships are the ultimate dud buster. I can reply to her and say, thank you, Audrey. Okay. I don't always like to say thank you for the retweet. I will just say thank you because I don't, you know, need to show off that I got a retweet. I truly just want to authentically thank her. So I will say thank you. And so she will know what I'm talking about. Kyle here, like I said, he dials into our Get Real Chat Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. So he tweeted some of his favorite peeps. I am going to do a real quick copy, and I am going to, then I hit reply. I'm going to paste it, and I'm showing you what happens here when we run out of characters. So I did this on purpose. You'll see we have a -7 characters. So there are only, I have 7 too many characters. So I just deleted my own name is what I just did. So I deleted my own name, and now I am going to add my little less than sign and a dash, which is my little brand, and I'm going to say thank you, so TY. So now I have fit this into the 140 character limit. I'm also going to remove this too, so you can edit tweets, take the liberty to edit tweets as you need to, as long as you do not change the context. And then now I can just hit tweet, and I have basically thanked Kyle for sending the tweet of the Friday follow. Let's do another one here. So we can have George Passwater, one of my buddies out of Orlando, so I can say, thank you, George. And then I know him, so I'm going to ask him if he's ready for the weekend. I'll say, I sure am. Okay, tweet has been sent, and I'll show you those tweets in just a minute where I can find those. And then, let's see, here's Jesse. Now, this is a guy I met from Africa. I met him several weeks ago. He is a guy I met several weeks ago. We connected on our faith on a weekend. And I actually wrote a blog post he's included in. I'm getting ready to do, I think, another interview with him. But he wound up tweeting into an event we had here locally, the Social Fresh event. And he felt like he was here at the event, he said. And he is all the way in Africa. So I just love that scenario, and that we can be clear across the globe from each other, you know, connect on faith through Twitter, and then he stayed in touch with the Social Fresh event through the Social Fresh hashtag, and you know, the end of the first day, second day, he was saying, I feel like I am there. That is, to me, is just the power of Twitter. So he's asking me, Pam, can you please remind me what I use to transcribe hash number or Twitter hashtags or Twitter chat? Thanks. I think he's wanting to know how he can know what a hashtag is. So I'm going to tell him I would check out hashtag.org, as many are listed there. And say, let me know if you don't find what you need. Okay, there we go. Voila. So I can now, let's see, what else do you want to do? That's probably good. I think you got the idea of how we send a tweet. Yeah, so here, Audrey, she already wrote back to me and said, you're welcome. I love your blog. And so, what a sweetheart. These, you know, and this is how a lot of times you end up connecting with people. She liked my content. I took the time to write back to her. She tells me she likes it, and, you know, we'll go from there. And she doesn't know she's being recorded in a video. So thank you, Audrey. And I might as well just tell her, I am recording a tutorial live. I just used your tweet as a demo. I'll send you the link a bit later. So she will be included now in this tutorial. There you go, Audrey. Thank you for your awesome feedback and your retweet. Okay, so now if we wanted to check out Audrey, or anybody in this list, for example, I can click on her profile right here and have a quick little view into who she is. And so if you get a weird link from somebody, all I can say is don't click it. Follow your gut. If your gut says don't click it, don't click the link. And if you come over here and they have 000 followers, you probably don't want to click on that link. And unless it's content that's interesting to you, you don't need to click every link that you have. I'm going to add her to a list right now called Fun and Interesting Peeps. Looks like she's in marketing. She's based in Silicon Valley. Let's go ahead and you can see here are her most recent tweets. Let's go ahead and check on Kyle. So here's Kyle. He's a biz dev manager. He's in sales. He's going to be a guest speaker soon on our Get Real Chat, guest tweeter, speaker. And I can see the list that he is listed on. I can see his most recent tweets. If I wanted to learn more about him, I could just click on more tweets from Kyle, and it'll take me to his profile. So there we are at his full profile. So we'll go back to my page. Now if we click on retweets, this would be retweets by others, retweets by me, retweets by my tweets that are retweeted, and it'll tell me all of my tweets that are retweeted. And I can go to my searches that I have saved. So when I showed you earlier, if I were to type in social media, oops, I did a typo. Looks like someone else has done a typo too. So I type in social media. If I want to save that search, I can just click save that search. Okay. So now when I come back here and I go to my searches, now social media is saved there as a search. Now I have Pam Marketing Nut saved there as a search. So here's all the times that Pam Marketing Nut has come up. And sometimes you every so often you might want to check. I don't usually have the time to do it as often as I should, but you can do a search for, let's say, Pam Marketing Nut, and then with a little symbol next to it, and see if people have typed your name and it's included. Sometimes it'll be included with a wacky character or something. But Twitter's gotten a lot better in their search capabilities of really starting to pull through just about everything. It's pretty hard to miss. And then we have our lists, which I told you that we would talk about in another tutorial. So I think that's about it. The one thing I didn't mention is that when you're sending a tweet, 120 is really the new 140. So make sure that your tweets are not too long. Try to keep them to 120 characters so that there is room for them to be retweeted. Now, if it's a tweet you really don't care if it gets retweeted, then that's fine. There's a lot of content I send. I get retweeted a lot, so a lot of times it's more important to me that I get my message across than that I get retweeted. And so I will choose or not to choose, how I want to format that. And so, but when you're first starting out and you're looking to engage, you want people to retweet your content, try to keep it to 120 characters versus 140. And you need to remember, when somebody retweets you, there needs to be at least room for your name, so there needs to be room for your Twitter name, and then usually the RT for retweet will go in front of that. And so it would be RT with a space plus whatever your name is. And so at minimum, you have to have that many characters for somebody to be successfully able to retweet you. So there you go. There is the basic, very fast walkthrough of the Twitter interface. We learned how to send a tweet. We learned how to reply. We learned how to look at people who are talking to us, to mentions. We learned how to do a favorite if I wanted to do a favorite. We could also do a retweet. I didn't show you this little button. I could do a retweet right now if I wanted to just retweet this tweet to all of my followers. I would not have the opportunity to edit that if I did that. And those only go to my followers, that type of retweet. It does not go to everybody. Where if I do an RT up here, anybody can see that tweet, not just my followers. And we learned how to do a reply. We checked out everything over here. I took you to the Twitter help, which you can go to Twitter to your profile and then click on help, and that will take you to the Twitter help basics here, and also where you can submit a ticket and report a violation if you want to do that here. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you are getting your tweet on. I love helping people so they are inspired to use one of what I believe is the most powerful social media tools that are out there. Do not be afraid to tweet. We have some awesome social media training you can check out, and you can go to fruitzoom.com or you can go to zoommysocialmedia.com. And we do social media training, we do brand training, we do everything from setting up websites to, custom backgrounds, Facebook pages, those types of things, and then full engagements with helping you with the strategy, executing your social media if we need to. But right now, I want you just to feel confident in knowing you can get out on Twitter. If you're not there, tweet me, come say hi to me, let me know you saw this video, and hopefully I inspired you in your day and that you make it a great year in 2011.